Hey guys, how's it going? Good morning, it's Gatlin here from Carphonics, and today I'm going to redo the video that I fucked up on yesterday. So as you can see behind me, I have the Sunfire that I purchased as a project vehicle, and the headlights aren't 100% perfect on it, so what I'm going to do is remake the video that I did yesterday. Along with that, I'll take some clips of whatever else I've got going on throughout the day. But in the meantime, I'll show you the process of redoing your headlights or polishing your headlights on any vehicle using the 3M Headlight Polishing Restoration Kit. So these are the three things you're going to need in order to complete this project. One being the 3M Headlight Restoration System Kit. These are relatively inexpensive. You can get them from Canadian Tire. I got mine from CarQuest here in London. I think I paid approximately $28 for it. Comes with an assortment of sanding papers, polishing compounds, and a protectant wax after you've polished your headlights. You'll need a spritz bottle with a little bit of soap and water in it, and some masking tape. The steps are, we're going to mask off the headlight surround on this car here, around, just to protect the paint that is surrounding the headlight on both sides. And we will go through the steps of polishing the headlights, and I'll show you that process. Inside the kit, you're going to find some polishing sanding papers. First, they start you off with a 500 grit, they move you on to an 800 grit, and then they move you on to a 3000 grit. Alongside that, you have a polishing compound, which is the final step. And then, polishing compound is here, final step, and then the synthetic protectant wax to go over top after. You'll need a drill. I have a DeWalt. It's a 12-volt lithium-ion drill with an assortment of batteries that you'll need in order to get the job completed. So I will start off by masking the headlights and get back at you. So I've masked off the headlight, and the idea here is to protect the paint surrounding the headlight, because you're not planning on polishing any of that area, you're actually just planning on polishing the headlight itself. That being said, what you're trying to accomplish is, again, protecting the paint, but the way that I've done it here is I've kind of left like a little bit of a gap slash ledge for the paint so the painter's tape to work off of. And the reason I've done that is because when you're polishing and sanding, the polisher is going to fling a little bit of water left and right along with the polishing compound. So the idea is to protect the paint from as much splatter and cleanup at the end as possible. The next step you're going to take is you're going to take your drill, you're going to put the attachment on the drill, and then you're going to attach your 500 grit sandpaper to the drill. And you're going to take a little bit of water with a little bit of soap in it. Now, they don't recommend that you put soap in the water. I've just put a very small dilution of just dish soap in the bottle with my water, because I feel like you're kind of do two things in one. You're gonna polish the headlight, you're gonna sand the headlight, and then you're also going to clean the headlight at the same time. Kind of a two-in-one process using the soap and water in a bottle. So you're just going to simply spritz the water onto the headlight like so, and then you're going to take your drill with the attached 500 grit sandpaper, and you're going to uniformly polish the headlight until you have an even look all the way around. Once you've completed step one, you want to take a clean microfiber towel and you want to wipe off the headlight and look for inconsistencies in the finish. You'll notice that I've gone from a clear headlight to a dull headlight. The idea is that you're removing any oxidization on the actual headlight itself, and you're going to then work your way up in steps of sandpaper until you have a clean finish. Now that I'm done with step one, step two, I'm going to take the 800 grit sandpaper by removing the 500 grit off of the pad and placing the 800 grit sandpaper on instead. And again, you're going to go through the same process with the soap and water. Spray some soap and water onto the headlight, and then sand using your drill and the pad until you have a uniform look. Now that you're done with step number two and the 800 grit sandpaper, you're going to take your microfiber towel again, and you're going to just simply clean the headlight off and make sure you have a uniform look yet again. You'll notice that the headlight is becoming more clear than the previous step, and in the next step you'll notice again that it's going to be even clearer than that. So the next step is going to be removing the 800 grit sandpaper off of your pad. If you're lucky I can do this with one hand. Boom. Take your 3000 grit sandpaper and then attach it to the drill like so. Again, you're going to want to take your soap and water, spritz the headlight for lubrication and cleaning purposes, and then take your drill and go to town. Okay, so with step 3 completed, you'll notice that the headlight is even clearer than it was before. Again, using your microfiber towel, you're just simply going to wipe the 3000 grit sanding grit hit off of the headlight. And the next step is to polish the headlight. Next step is to take your polisher pad and apply that to your drill like so. I like to put a little bit of extra water on the pad just like this, just to get the things moisturized. And then you're going to add a little bit of this rubbing compound to the pad. You don't need a whole lot of this, guys. You can probably do about 100 headlights with this entire kit. You want the polish to do the work for you. So simply just going to apply a little bit of the supplied polishing compound to the pad like so, and then you're just going to use your finger to spread the material out on the pad to avoid any splatters on the paint and clean up prep work after. And then you're going to just take the polisher and polish the headlight to a clear finish. Okay, so I finished my polishing and I've just simply again wiped off the compound with my microfiber towel. You'll notice that some of the tape has fallen off. It's done its job though, it's protected the rest of the paint. The final and last step is to apply the synthetic protectant wax, and I'll show you that step now. So you're just going to take a microfiber towel cloth here, like that. You're going to apply a little bit to a corner of the rag. Again, you don't really need a whole lot of this stuff. That is going to be more than enough. That's probably too much, to be honest with you. And you can just simply apply it to the headlight itself and rub it in with your fingers or the rag if you prefer. I like to use my fingers to make sure that I get in and kind of massage the wax into the headlight, just like that, all the way along everywhere you go. And as you can see, that was far too much wax, but again, I was doing it with one hand. You don't need nearly as much as this, so I'm going to use a little bit of this and apply it to the other headlight that I've already done over here. And just take a little bit more of that off and put it over here. Just like that. And after you've applied this wax, you just want to let it haze up on you. That way you can buff it off with a microfiber towel. Alright guys, so final step, you want to take your dry microfiber towel and you simply just want to buff off the protected wax on the headlight like this. Wipe down the surrounding areas. I also applied a little bit of wax to the center light as well, just to protect it. It was in good shape. And that's it, guys. As you can see, the headlights are nice and clear. Damien will turn the lights on for me quickly here and give you an idea of the light output. These were quite hazy before. And doesn't that look great, guys? Anyhow, that was just something I wanted to do this morning. Remake this video. Took me about 20 minutes to do it, but that's okay. I did it for you guys. A lot of you guys were saying that you would have liked to see the headlights being polished, and there you go. So we got some other stuff going on today. I'll clip you in on that, and we'll go from there. See you guys in a bit. Just one more thing I wanted to mention to you guys is that if you clean your pads and all of your sanding discs, just put them in the sink, rinse them off real quick, take the pad, rinse it off in the sink, let it dry. And if you cut small holes in all the packages that it comes with, you can simply just pinch the end together like that and stick it back in the box on both of these and reuse them without them drying up on you. Just cut really small holes in the sides, don't tear it off. They give you like a little tear tab right there on the left, right beside the 3M symbol that you can see. You tear that off, you're fucking game over. You don't use it again. This is still 3/4 full, and I've only used it on one set of headlights. So just a little thing there to let you guys know, if you save your pads and you clean them up after you're done using them, you can reuse these things for a long time. Anyhow, guys, just one more thing I wanted to mention. Yeah, Damien and I were just talking. He's like, you know, I'm not going to lose this footage again. And he's like, I'm not going to do it again. That's for damn sure. The next video you guys see, if I had to redo this video, is going to be me smashing the headlight and replacing it and showing you how to do that instead. Anyways, we're just cleaning up the shop here, opening up, and see you in a bit. Some of you guys were saying that you'd like to send me some stuff, and that's totally awesome. I'd show it in the videos and maybe even do a review or maybe use it toward an install. That'd be awesome. If you want to send me something, that's the address you can send it to. It's 663 Wellington Road South, London, Ontario, N6C 4R4. And I'll also put that in the description for you. Boys over here at Tint King, they always get all the new Benzes and stuff from the local Mercedes-Benz dealership to tint. Check this thing out. Yeah, bud. I'm real into that. V8 bi-turbo. Thing sounded awesome when he was pulling it up. Really nice freaking car. Yeah, that's fucking nice for sure. Ah, I said F. I can't say F anymore. You guys keep on getting mad at me for cursing and stuff. Sorry about that. I'll try my really hardest not to, but you know, I get a hard on for cars like this, so real nice. If you think you can run a car audio shop without having the certificate, think again, guys. You need it. 310K Automotive Electronic Accessory Technician. What I do for a living is monitored by the Gov, and you need to have this. So if you don't, I'll report the shit out of you. This car like runs awesome. It's kind of crazy how clean this freaking car is. Turn the ignition on here for you if I can find the keys. Here they are. It's only got 66,000 original kilometers on it. Starts right up. No engine lights, no nothing. No airbag lights, things just like a top, right? It's a really nice freaking car. But check this out, guys. No CD player, AM FM radio. Oh yeah, that's how we bump. That's how we do. That's what we do. That's when we do it. Pretty awesome. So here's a cool little tool that we like to use here at the shop. It's called the tone generator, speaker, polarity, and RCA cable tester. This thing is pretty neat when we're, you know, tuning systems, specifically when we're doing, you know, amplified systems. So there's a little speaker tester button here. What that does is allow us to know if the polarity is correct on the speaker. So you see that you have a positive here and a negative here. It's going to the positive and then the negative on the terminal there. The cool thing about this is if you press that speaker test button, you can see the speaker move out, in, in. That's how you know when a speaker is correctly phased or not. So if we reverse these and put this positive on the negative and the negative on the positive, when we press that speaker test button, you'll see that the speaker dips in as opposed to out. And the key here is to make sure that you have correct polarity in any audio system, regardless of what you're doing, whether it be amplified or not. So when you put the positive and negative correctly, you'll see that the speaker moves out. Correct polarity. Also, it's a tone generator, so you can turn this sucker on and, you know, generate tones. That's the Carphonics beat, guys. We'll just turn that off now. So you can generate tones, and you can also test RCA cables. So what you do is you grab a set of RCA cables. See if I can find a quick set here somewhere. I just had a set in the scrap bin that were no good. And maybe I put it in here. This would be a good set, I guess. Here's a good set of RCAs right here. Right, so you stick these cable ends in here, like so, and you can press the RCA cable tester. How the hell do we do this, Damien? Am I missing something?
They have to hook it up to the amplifier.
Oh, you have to hook it up to the amplifier. Damn it. So I can't show you, but in any case, the RCAs are connected to an amplifier. We can make sure, you know, if we're not getting proper signal, we can just simply test the RCAs to make sure that they're good. Pretty cool though, little wave generator thing. So we can show you here how the RCA cable tester works. So if you take one end of the RCA, the white end, and stick the other white end into the other side, the opposite side, gives you a tone, lets you know that both channels of that RCA are okay. And then same thing with the other channel. It's a brand new set of RCAs. Of course it's going to work, but you get the idea. Another cool tool that we have here, and I'll just put it on a yellow background because it's hard to see in the black, is this is a window crank clip remover tool. So when you have roll-up windows, you have to remove that crank handle in order to get the door panel off. This will slide in behind the crank, remove the clip, and then the other end has a clip holder, so when you put the handle back on, you can just slide it in behind and put the clip back in. Pretty cool tool there too. So I just noticed, guys, I'm almost at 5,000 subscribers, and that's pretty freaking awesome. I really appreciate all your guys' support. As soon as we hit 10,000 subscribers, I'm gonna give away something incredibly awesome. So make sure you guys slam that subscribe button and slam that like button. And when you do that, there's a little bell thing over here, I believe, in that area. Make sure you hit that too, so when I do post a video, you can see it right away. Another thing I wanted to touch base on is sometimes when we're doing installations on people's cars, we may accidentally leave a tool in the back of the car. And when that happens, you know, our tools are quite valuable to us, and people make mistakes, and we generally try to do a tool check on every vehicle that we work on, but sometimes, you know, one may fall through the crack. In the instance of Damien, unfortunately, he left a very expensive Mac tool light inside of one of the vehicles we were working on. And of course, because we have so many cameras within our shop, we were able to go back in our camera system and see exactly whose car, where, when, what day we left the light in. And you know, we've repeatedly tried to call this customer and get them to return the light, but they just won't return our phone call. So, you know, yeah, you know, it was our fault. We left the light in the guy's car. Sometimes that happens. Today, we had a customer, I made a mistake. I left one of my Mac pick tools inside of his truck when I was doing an installation about 3 weeks ago. And, you know, I had forgotten about it. I didn't even realize that I was missing it until about a day or two ago. And, you know, he called, he's like, you know what, you guys accidentally left one of your tools in here. And he came back and he gave it to me. And I thought that was pretty awesome, you know. It'd be different if it was like a Mastercraft or a Craftsman tool or something like that. Not to say that those tools are shit, but it's one thing when, you know, my pick tool set, I'll show you here, right here, you know, this simple little pick tool set, these 4 items right here, 120 bucks, right? You can get something that's equal to that at Mastercraft or, you know, Craftsman tools for 10 bucks, right? So when we spend that kind of money on tools, it's always appreciative if we do make a mistake that you give us a call and we can get our tools back. Just something I wanted to touch base on you guys with. So you know me, I can't leave good enough alone. And you know, this car had a factory just AM FM radio, and I had a, you know, an after a factory radio that's basically the same year, make, model, but with a CD player. At least you have to install a CD player into this thing. So we're just going to clean up this radio and install it into this car. You know, I mean, who wants just an AM FM radio? And I figured, since I have a CD player kicking around, we'll just quickly swap out the radio for whomever might buy the car. Keep it factory, keep it original, but you know, with a CD player at the very least, eh, Dame?
Oh, yeah.
They have to have a CD player, I mean, at the very least. So we're just going to clean it up with some isopropyl alcohol, make it nice and clean, clean up all those buttons with all the grime on them, and I guess we got to test to see if this thing even works, right?
Right.
Who knows? We'll see.
Well, that didn't work out quite the way that I had expected it to. Obviously, this factory radio was taken out for a reason. None of the lights work on it, and you know, it's all locked up and stuff. And anyhow, I just put the factory radio back in. Or, yep.
Here's what it is.
Here's what it is. See if I can find another radio at some point in its life. Another factory radio. I mean, unless, you know, someone wants Bluetooth in it or something like that, and then of course, obviously I'll install something like that into it, but in the meantime,
just a quick little fix up here, guys. You know, a father and son project guy came in. I guess his son was away for a little while and he had built this box for him and he wanted to surprise him with the audio system but didn't quite know what he was doing. So we're gonna mount the amplifier and the capacitor to the back of the box here and just tidy up some of the wiring and install a line output converter. Just kind of basic, but we'll make it work for him. Alright guys, so we got our line output converter here, and the objective of this device is to take a high level output and make it into a low level input for a set of RCAs that can get installed into an amplifier. In the case of this Bose subwoofer, we have two channels going, or one channel going into the woofer here. So we're just going to splice it into here and then mount it, and we'll then run our set of RCAs out. We have our positive and then we have our negative. We're going to combine both channels, negative and positive, on our line output converter and install them accordingly. So positive is going to go to positive and then negative is going to go to negative. And of course, don't forget to solder your connections. So we've just simply spliced into these wires here, and we're going to take our positive now and run it to our positive here, and our negative to our negative. And of course, we're going to solder it with our soldering iron, which is dead. Great. All right, so we got our soldering iron and our solder here, and we're just going to make our connection here at our subwoofer for our line output converter. Soldering is pretty easy, guys. You just want that solder to soak right into all the connections there. Same idea over here. And that just soaks in. We'll tape up our connections nicely and show you from there, guys. Alright, so we've got our line output converter wired up and taped up there. And next we're just going to mount this thing somewhere in that location likely. Just we'll use some Dynamat and Dynamat it to that location there. And then we can just easily run out our RCA cables from here behind this panel to the amplifier. Alright guys, so we got our line output converter Dynamated to the ceiling. And we've also found our factory amp remote turn-on wire, which we'll use to turn on the aftermarket amp. And after we get that wired up, we're going to get a ground on here. So anytime we're installing somebody else's RCA cables or audio system, we like to use that tool that we showed you earlier to test out their RCAs. So this is a set of RCAs that he supplied us with, so we're just going to go red, and then red on the other side, listen for the tone. Okay. And then we're going to go white on the one side and white on the other. Okay, his RCA cables are good. We'll go ahead and install them. Nothing like installing somebody else's crap just to, you know, to have it not work. So nice, right? So now we can run up those RCAs behind this panel. Line output converters there. We'll remove this out there, and remote wires hooked up. Our RCAs are hooked up. Now we can run the wires behind the panel and do our ground. Okay, got our RCA cables ran behind the panel and a remote wire. Now we can reinstall this panel up here and start working on our ground. Alright, so we changed our mind. We're going to do the ground underneath here. Nice nut and bolt there. Get some light on that situation. Alright, that's the sound you want to hear when you're doing a proper ground, boys. So we're going to run all this stuff behind the panel there for a nice clean install, and we'll get back at you as soon as we're done. Anytime you're working with the capacitor, you want to make sure that she's completely discharged and the battery is disconnected while you're making all of your connections. Because if you ground out this connection on the positive connection while you're working away, that little capacitor can act like a bomb. And that's no good. And no one wants that, and no one wants to lose a hand. So we're just a little word of advice. You want to be able to make as many predetermined connections before you shove this box into a corner where you can't really access it that easily. The wires are going in this thing. It's not the easiest place to get to them, but it's also going to be the most nicest looking place because you're not going to be able to see any of them once the box is in the trunk. You want to clamp her down there as nice and tight as you possibly can. Loose connections can lead to damaged product. Everything's all wired up here, looking pretty. This is sometimes the problem you run into with other people's product. The amplifier is no good. So obviously we've tested all of our connections and tested the output of the RCAs, and it is not outputting. So the amplifier is pooched. We've contacted the customer, and I guess he's on his way in here to see what he wants to do. But in any case, it looks pretty sharp, nice and clean and organized there, and all the wires are nicely tucked away, and when you look in the trunk, it looks nice and beautiful. So we're gonna slap this thing together, and Parker, we might as well leave it inside for now, eh? Just let the customer come in and take a look and see what he wants to do. All right, guys, so I think that's, we're gonna call that a video for the day. I redid the headlight polishing on the project car, showed you some of the tools, went over a radio on this thing that ended up not working, 2 for 2, I guess, and went through the install on this car here. I got another busy few hours ahead of me here. We're already at 27 minutes for the video, and I think we're gonna call it a cigarette. What do you think, bud? Call her a cigarette. Don't make fun of me, guys. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you hit that bell thing over there, and if you want to send me stuff, the address is going to be in the description. Carphonics, signing out. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Take care and see you on Monday.